Have you noticed something unsettling? The more you try to change your life, the more it seems to stay exactly the same. It's strange. There are people who work themselves to death trying 1,000 strategies, and they remain stuck in the same loops, while others change everything without it seeming to cost them much. And no, the difference isn't how much you do, it's something much more uncomfortable to accept. For years, they sold you the same story. You need more discipline, better habits, more tools. That if you're not making progress, it's because you're not trying hard enough. But there's a truth that almost no one talks about. Real change doesn't happen through what you do. It happens on a much deeper level, so basic that most people don't even see it in their entire lives. Think of it this way. A fish doesn't see the water because it's always been in it. For the fish, it's invisible. And you're the same. You can't see the field that holds your current reality because you've been inside it your whole life. That field, that energetic atmosphere in which you exist, is what defines which version of reality you experience. What you're about to understand isn't just another technique to add to your endless list. It's realizing a principle that's already operating in your life right now, whether you know it or not. And it's so straightforward, so simple, that your logical mind will want to dismiss it. If it were that simple, you would have seen it already, right? That's exactly where its power lies. Now, if you really want to understand this, not just with your head, but truly feel it, stay. Because here we're not talking about pretty motivational phrases. We're getting into the underlying mechanics that shape your experience. And once you see it, there's no going back. So I'm going to ask you something directly. Are you willing to let go of all the complexity they've sold you and look at the essentials head on? Because by the end of this video, you're going to understand why everything you've tried has only partly worked. And most importantly, you're going to know what to do differently. But first, there's something we need to put on the table. Why do you feel stuck? Because yes, I know exactly where you are. You've tried everything. Books, podcasts, courses, visualizations, written goals, affirmations in front of the mirror, like you're an actor rehearsing your best role. And maybe for a while it worked. You felt that drive, that spark, that feeling of this time for sure. But then it faded away, like a wave that pulls back, and you end up in the same place. And the same internal conversations, the same patterns, the same relationships, the same financial ceiling. And that's not even the worst part. The worst part is not understanding why, because it's not like you haven't tried. You've given it your all. You wake up in the morning saying, today is the day. Today I'm going to be disciplined. Today I'm not going to fall into the same pattern. And then the afternoon comes and something gets triggered inside you. A silent resistance. A strange weight. You can't explain it, but it's there, and without realizing it. Already on autopilot again, repeating exactly what you swore to change. Does that feeling sound familiar? Like running on a treadmill? A lot of effort, a lot of movement, a lot of sweat, but when you look, you're still in the same place. And there you are. That's when that uncomfortable question comes up. What if the problem is me? What if I'm just not cut out for this? If others have something I don't, listen to me carefully. There's nothing broken in you, nothing lost. You're not lacking willpower, intelligence, or courage. What you're missing is understanding how change really works. Because you've been fighting against something you can't even see for a long time, and you're doing it with the wrong tools. What comes next can completely change the way you understand all of this. And when you see it, everything will fall into place. Here's the key point. You're not creating your reality from scratch. You're choosing between realities that already exist. It's not just a nice metaphor, it's literally how your experience works. Your brain doesn't invent from nothing. It selects from a huge field of possibilities. In every instant, your nervous system chooses one and turns it into what you call your life. So, the real question is, what decides? Which version do you choose? And here's the uncomfortable part, because it's as simple as your state of being. Not what you think about yourself, not what you say you want to be, but your real state. The emotional and energetic tone from which you're operating right now. Imagine it like a radio. You can turn the dial as much as you want, but you'll only hear the frequency you're already tuned into. It doesn't matter how much you want to listen to another station. It doesn't matter how much you think about it, how much you repeat it, how hard you try mentally. If you don't change the frequency, are you going to keep hearing the same thing? Your current reality isn't a mistake you need to fix. It's a signal you're receiving because your internal system is tuned in exactly there. And here's the kicker. Have you been trying to change the song without changing the station? That's why your affirmations don't work. When you're tense inside in fear, that's why you visualize, but nothing happens, because your nervous system is still in survival mode. That's why you write down goals, but you don't achieve them, because deep down they don't fit with who you believe you are. You're not trying to convince the universe of anything. You're trying to maintain a different internal state, right?
Tiempo suficiente para que lo externo se alinee. Piénsalo un segundo. Si esto te está haciendo clic, ya sabes por qué. Y si duele un poco, también. Ahora vamos más profundo. Porque esto no es solo filosofía bonita, hay una base real detrás. En los años 20, los físicos cuánticos descubrieron algo que rompió por completo la forma de entender la realidad. A nivel subatómico,
nervous that your own don't have a fixed position until someone observes them. Before that, they exist in multiple possibilities at the same time. Everything is open. Everything is available until consciousness intervenes and defines it. Werner Heisenberg said it bluntly. What we see is not reality as it is, but reality filtered by how we observe it, applied to your life. How do you look at something? It determines what you experience. And here's another mind-blowing fact. Your brain processes about 11 million bits of information per second. Your conscious mind, barely 40. Yes, 40. You don't even see or notice the rest. It gets filtered automatically. Who decides what gets through that filter? Your reticular activating system, a kind of mental gatekeeper that says yes to this and no to that. What are its decisions based on? On your dominant internal state. If you live in scarcity, you will see scarcity everywhere. Not because the world is against you, but because your brain is doing its job, confirming what it already believes. It's like wearing blue glasses all the time. Everything looks blue. But you never consider that the problem isn't the world, it's the glasses. And here's where it gets even more interesting, because those glasses aren't physical, they're energetic. Your body generates a real, measurable electromagnetic field that extends several meters around you. That field contains information. The glasses. Does it get filtered? What happens? Does the brain filter it? Does it filter? Yes. What happens with the glasses? The glasses, over time, but it gets more interesting, even more so. And here it gets even more interesting. Glasses. Glasses. It's as if the world were at home, but in your home, glasses are more interesting, because here it gets even more glasses, even more because those glasses make it even more glasses. In fact, the heart generates an electromagnetic field thousands of times more powerful than that of the brain. When you enter coherence, when your breathing, heart, and mind are aligned, that field becomes organized, more stable, clearer, and more influential. This isn't strange mysticism, it's biology. Your internal state isn't just how you feel, it's active information, shaping what becomes real for you. So when you say, I want to change my life, but inside you're still anxious, frustrated, or empty, you're sending mixed signals, and reality doesn't respond to what you say, it responds to what you are, consistently. Imagine two tuning forks. You strike one, and if the other is tuned to the same frequency, it starts to vibrate on its own, without being touched. That's resonance. You work the same way. It responds to the frequency you're on, not the one you say you want. And here's the part that changes everything. You don't need to fight your reality. You need to change the frequency you're living from. Because when that change is real, reality has no choice but to reorganize itself. And yes, you're not alone in this. There are more people waking up to this than you can imagine. People who are no longer forcing things, and now comes the part that's really going to take a weight off your shoulders. Really. Take a breath for a second, because this can free you from years of beating yourself up for no reason. You were never the problem, never. Oh, it wasn't a lack of effort. It wasn't that you didn't want it enough. You're not weak.
Y desde luego, no estás condenado a repetir lo mismo una
and again. What happened is much simpler and much more uncomfortable. No one taught you the difference between changing what you do and changing where you're coming from when you do it. They taught you to adjust behaviors. But no one explained to you how to change your internal state. They told you, think positive. But no one taught you how to feel differently in a real and sustained way. They filled you with techniques but kept the important part to themselves. How? How do you consciously become another version of yourself? And of course, it's hard not to get lost that way, but it's not your fault. We live in a culture obsessed with doing. Do more. Produce more. Push harder. As if the solution was always to grit your teeth a little harder. But no. Real power isn't about doing more. It's about being different. Because when you're different, what you do changes on its own. You were trying to solve a frequency problem with action-based tools. It's like trying to change the channel by hitting the TV. You can hit it all day. It's not going to change anything until you use the right remote. And all this time, it wasn't that the universe wasn't listening to you. It's that you were sending out a different signal without realizing it. Your body kept transmitting the old stuff.
mientras tu mente
Something new, two opposite messages. Result, blockage, but not anymore. Now you see it. And when there's clarity, power appears. Because you're no longer lost, wondering what the hell is going wrong. Now you know where to look. If this has given you even a little bit of relief, that's normal. It's that feeling of, okay, so it wasn't me. And from there, you can move differently. Now you can. Let's get to the worst part, practical. How do you really change your state without the fluff and in a sustainable way? There are 3 practices that tackle this at the root. First, heart coherence breathing. It's not just deep breathing. It's a specific way to synchronize your heart, your brain, and your nervous system. Do it like this. Sit comfortably, hand on your chest. Inhale, counting to 5. Pause, exhale, counting to 5. Pause. And now comes the important part. As you breathe, imagine that the air is entering and leaving directly from your heart, as if your heart were breathing. And here is the key that most people ignore. While you maintain that rhythm, generate a real emotion, gratitude, appreciation, or whatever truly moves you. But don't think about it. Feel it. Remember something specific, a hug that left a mark on you, a moment of connection, a scene that made the world stop, and let that expand in your chest. 5 minutes, every morning, nothing more. In that state, your system gets organized, your field becomes coherent, and from there, you start to emit a clear signal. This isn't theory. You are changing your base frequency. Second exercise, mental rehearsal, but done well. Most people mess it up here. They visualize what they want as if it were a distant movie, as if they were watching it from the outside. The result? They reinforce that they don't have it. Basically, they're training themselves to feel the lack with a lot of excitement. Instead of that, do the following. Close your eyes and enter the scene as if it were already your life. Don't just watch it, live it. Don't be a spectator. Be the protagonist. Get inside that version of yourself. See through their eyes. Feel their body. How do they wake up? What moves in their chest when they open their eyes? How do they walk? What kind of dialogue do they have with themselves? You're not imagining a distant future. You're training your system to do that. Now, because that version isn't ahead, it already exists on another frequency. And every time you embody it, even if it's just for a few minutes, you're getting closer to it. Do it for 10 minutes a day. But be careful with this, because this is where many people fail. It's not about doing it once with intensity and that's it. It's about repeating it. Your brain doesn't distinguish between something experienced and something imagined with enough clarity. For it, it's the same. So every time you enter that state, you're creating new connections. You're reprogramming. You're training your system to sustain another reality. Third practice, detection and reorientation in real time. Because during the day, you're going to slip back into it. It's inevitable. You're going to feel that familiar contraction, that thought that comes back, that heavy emotion that you already know by heart. The difference is here in realizing it. Most people don't even notice. They live on autopilot, carried along by the same old state they're always in. But you're going to practice something different. You're going to start noticing the exact moment when it happens. When you see it, don't beat yourself up. No need for drama. Just acknowledge it. Okay, I'm there again. And reset. 30 seconds if you can. Close your eyes. Hand on your chest. Breathe. And ask yourself something simple. Where do I want to be right now? And for a few seconds, feel that new state. You don't need to fix your life in that moment. Just interrupt the pattern and redirect. Do it as many times as you need. Per day. Perfect. Because this isn't a magical moment that changes everything. It's the sum of small decisions repeated over and over again. Return, return, return. I'm going to tell you something you might not like. It's not that you don't want to change. It's that you've gotten used to numbing yourself. Scrolling, distractions, constant noise. Anything but truly listening to yourself. But imagine this. You are alone, with headphones on, and a voice starts saying exactly what you've been avoiding for a long time. No escape, no filters. That's what you have on Audible. You can get 30 free days in the description, not to entertain you, to make you uncomfortable enough to get you moving. And here's something important you need to be clear about. This path is not linear. It's not. There will be days when you forget all of this. Days when you go completely back to how things were before. And your mind is going to tell you, see, you haven't accomplished anything. That uncomfortable thought might even show up. I'm a fraud trying to be someone I'm not. Listen to me carefully. Those days aren't the problem. They're part of the process. This isn't a straight line going up. It's a spiral. You come back to the same thing. But you're not the same. There's more awareness, more capacity for truth. The old state has strength. It's been with you for years, maybe decades. It's well trained. It has deep roots in your nervous system. It's not going to go away just because you had 3 good days. It's going to try to come back, especially when you're tired, stressed, or you're letting your guard down. But now there's a huge difference. Before, you'd fall and stay there without realizing it. Days, weeks, not anymore. Now you can see it. And when you see it, you can get out. At first, it will take you a day, then hours, then minutes. And that's where the real progress is. Not in staying perfect all the time, but in how quickly you come back. That's the real metric. How quickly you return. Every time you consciously come back, you're strengthening the new and weakening the old on a mental level, on an emotional level, on an energetic level. You are changing. So ease up on those absurd expectations. This isn't about perfection. It's about direction. It's not about never falling. It's about getting back up faster each time. And yes, you're not alone in this. There are more people on this path than you think, people who are also learning to live from a different place, to hold a different frequency. And each person who does it makes it easier for others to do it too. If you've made it this far, it's because you've managed to listen to yourself without running away. And that hurts, because you know everything you could have been and still aren't. You know how many times you promised yourself to change and didn't follow through? Type "I'm tired of being my own excuse" in the comments. Because that phrase isn't motivation, it's the truth. And the truth, when you finally say it, sets you free. Now let's wrap this up. Go back to the question from the beginning. Why did your life stay the same the more you tried to change it? Because you were trying to change the reflection without touching the source. You wanted to change what's outside without changing what's inside. And that's like trying to fix your image in the mirror by moving the reflection. It doesn't work. It has never worked. What does work is this. Become the frequency. Live it. Don't think about it. Don't wish for it. Don't chase it. Be it. Embody it. Hold it. Because when you really do it, something changes. Reality starts to reorganize itself. Not because you're forcing it, but because it responds to how you're being. And now remember this. It's not complex. It's simple. So simple that your mind will try to complicate it again. Don't follow it. Go back to the basics. To your state, to your frequency, and from there, watch how your world starts to change.